one and the first of another. While DAF redesigned the DB250 chassis so the Wrightbus body would be fully compliant internally with the disability regulations, unlike the earlier Alexander-bodied DLAs. The revamped chassis unit was referred to as the DB250 LF, so that everyone would know it was genuinely low floor. To distinguish between the Volvo Eclipses and the new combination, Wrightbus chose the name Pulsar Gemini for the DAF-powered bus. Arriva London South ordered 50 of the DW type, and they arrived at South Croydon in 2 batches between May and October 2003. The original plan was to use them to upgrade the garage's routes generally, but a contract renewal on Route 254 prompted the transfer of 14, numbers 37 to 50, to the comparatively recent Beddington Farm garage, or simply Croydon as it's sometimes known. Arriva's allocation policy is interesting, especially on South Croydon's routes. Subject only to the age profile inherent in TfL contracts, it's possible to operate day-to-day on the basis of only one bus type, the double-decker. So it's not unusual to see a mixture of both old and new DAFs working side by side, with the occasional Enviro 400 thrown into the mix. Hence, the DWs may turn up on any of the TC double-deck routes, 60, 194, 197, 264, 403, 412 and 466, or they may not. The 403 is one of South Croydon's agricultural routes and runs through pleasant semi-rural areas like Sanderstead and Warlingham. One appears every 12 minutes during the day, but its short distance means it's economical, soaking up no more than 12 of the allocation. It should be worked exclusively by DWs, but refer to comments above. The 264 became a South Croydon route in the spring of 2012 when the Beddington Farm site closed. It's been worked by DWs for almost a decade, and they're likely to soldier on until at least 2015 when the contract comes up for renewal. This is pretty much a town route running between Tooting and West Croydon, a journey relieved only partially by a spot of greenery in the Mitcham area. 14 Pulsar Geminis are still allocated to the route, but there's no guarantee they will. Version of Route 414, which Abellio won from First Group, with effect from November 09. All 57 were allocated from New to Battersea, where they've remained ever since. Route 156 is quite interesting. It's one of the original Limeborn routes operating from the Battersea site in 1997. The company that was later sold to Connex which itself was taken over by National Express before the Dutch acquired the business. So it could be argued that the 156 has been with the same operator for some 14 years now. The 414 was another new contract, but its bus allocation, and that for the 156, 344 and 452, had become completely intermingled in the ensuing 2 years. In short, today a Battersea Enviro is a Battersea Enviro. The only dedicated group are the 21 Walworth buses for Route 40, but the odd one or two had been pressed into service on the recently acquired Route 172. This should be worked by a new batch of ALX 400s, formerly with Metroline, but several Enviros were pressed into service when the contract began in March 2011 because not all the new intake were ready, and this practice has continued whenever required. In the same way, it's not unknown for Battersea to put out the occasional Enviro on the otherwise ALX 400 dominated Route 211. In September 2011, Abellio was due to become the fourth London operator to take delivery of the Enviro 400 hybrid model, 13 diesel electrics for Route 188. To summarise then, here's a graphic showing all 6 batches ordered by the company of many names. With hundreds of routes and thousands of buses, it's really quite hard to know where to start in the capital city. One thing is certain though, you will never be bored and you will never lack choice or variety, as this series aims to prove. In the opening volume, our special feature is on the City of London, or the Square Mile as it's known. But before we get to that, in London transport days, single-deckers were very much creatures of suburbia, but now they're everywhere, and most of them are Enviro 200s. The shortest variant of what is sometimes known as the Dart 4 is 8.9 metres. Every London operator except Go-Ahead has some of these on its books. This variant does follow the traditional pattern of only appearing around the edges of the TfL area, like here in Kingston for example, or at Barnet Hospital. In common with the forerunner of the type, the Dart Mini Pointer, the 8.9 metre Enviro only has a single door. The next one along the measuring tape is 9.3 metres, with 2 doors. You can find some of these on the rather baffling Route 100. 10.2 metres is the most common length. Every operator except Quality Line has some of these, so you'll obviously find them all over the TfL area. Before Victoria became a gigantic building site, this one used Vauxhall Bridge Road to reach its stand in Wilton Road. DE955, one of Metroline's Perivale-based E200s, in the old livery, checks out the leafy delights of Hampstead Heath. This area has 5 inspection pits and is designed for major repair work. But having said that, any job needing a pit can be carried out here, from oil changes to electrical work and quite a lot in between. For the sake of convenience, the oil store is located here too. This engineer is rerouting some wiring so it's easier to get at next time. He's already fixed a broken wire to an engine fault light. The rotor inspection pit area can accommodate 4 buses and is used for routine monthly inspections. Each bus type has a rota of exams, hence the name, that must be carried out at predetermined intervals. Obviously, the level of work varies each time, as some items need checking or replacing less frequently than others. Both of these buses, a Trident and an Enviro, are having their wheels replaced after